Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Monday, February 3rd, 2020. I'm Freddie Liebert. St. Kitts and Nevis is taking the necessary steps in preparation for containment in light of the World Health Organization's WHO classifying the novel coronavirus as a public health emergency of international concern. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws says the Federation is already taking precautionary measures.
The Ministry of Health continues to inform and update the general public about this outbreak. Number 2, the Ministry continues to inform the public concerning personal hygienic measures to reduce the risk of contracting the flu or respiratory illnesses. And these measures include staying home if you are ill with the flu or a respiratory illness, maintaining a safe distance between yourself and an ill person, and covering your nose and mouth if you're coughing or sneezing. Number 3, all frontline port workers were sensitized on January the 24th, 2020 about the new coronavirus and their valued role in protecting our borders. 4, the Ministry has strengthened surveillance at all our ports of entry, particularly monitoring all international flights and regional flights from the hubs, including Antigua, St. Martin, and Puerto Rico.
According to Chief Medical Officer, the Ministry of Health is also updating the National Pandemic Viral Action Plan.
The health desk at the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw International Airport will be covered by sessional nurses and environmental health officers during this period. The health team is ready to identify, isolate, and manage suspected cases of this new infection. The Ministry of Health remains in close collaboration with the Caribbean Public Health Agency and our regional and international partners. The public will be updated on this new viral infection as often as may be required.
The risk of the novel coronavirus to the Caribbean, including St. Kitts and Nevis, is high, according to the WHO's risk assessment. It is expected that further international exportation of cases may appear in any country. Meantime, a travel advisory has been issued by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, following the World Health Organization's WHO declaration on January 30th, 2020, that the outbreak of the novel coronavirus constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis advises citizens and residents to restrict travel to China until the WHO gives the all-clear in relation to the novel coronavirus. Persons with plans to travel to China are asked to postpone their plans for the immediate future. Persons traveling from China or who have traveled to another country from China within the last 14 days are asked to remain where they are and not to travel to St. Kitts and Nevis. Persons who travel to St. Kitts and Nevis from China shall be subject to screening at the port of entry and may, if necessary, have their movements restricted either at home or other appropriate facility based on risk assessment. This is in keeping with the WHO's advice that in the event of international exportation of cases, all countries should be prepared for containment, including active surveillance, early detection, isolation, case management, and contact tracing to prevent onward spreading. Meantime, the Federal Ministry of Health, along with key national stakeholders, were expected to hold a press conference on Monday, February 3rd, in the Parliamentary Lounge at Government Headquarters in St. Kitts to discuss the novel coronavirus, which was declared a global health emergency by the World Health Organization. The core objective of the press conference was to give the nation a comprehensive update on the novel coronavirus, its overall impact, symptoms, local and regional threats, global statistics, and national and regional actions being undertaken to protect health and our borders. Presentations were to be made by Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws, Medical Chief of Staff at Institution-Based Health Centers, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, Chairman of the National Disaster Mitigation Council, the Honorable Vincent Byron, National Disaster Coordinator Abdia Samuel, and Head of Immigration Mercelin Hughes. A brief report was expected to be given by the Minister of Health on an emergency ministerial meeting of the CARICOM Council for Human and Social Development, which was convened at 10 a.m. on Monday. Still to come, St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board celebrates 42nd anniversary. The details right after this break. Welcome back. A team from Open Plan Consultancy is currently on island to consult on the Nevis Physical Development Plan in collaboration with the Ministry of Physical Planning. Steve Kemp, Executive Director of Open Plan Consultancy, went into detail about his visit to the island.
We're here to undertake with the local planning team a review of the draft development plan for Nevis, to bring it up to date, to ensure that it is, if you like, fit for purpose, with particular emphasis on two aspects, which are biodiversity and climate change and all its implications. So we need to make sure that the plan is going to underpin the resilience of the island as we move forward into an era that's likely to involve some significant changes and some significant challenges, as well as many opportunities.
Project Coordinator for Conserving Biodiversity Project in St. Kitts and Nevis, Claudia Drew, says she is pleased with the way the consultancy team has been engaging so far, and she is optimistic that they would have a plan to present to the Minister to take to Parliament in 2020. Minister of Physical Planning is the Honourable Spencer Brand.
As Mrs. Drew have indicated, we have seen many stops since then. And I am hoping that we will reach to the end game, so to speak, in having this come to fruition. I am hopeful that we will have it done in 2020, and as you indicated, have it tabled in Parliament and we can have a roadmap to work on. So I want to welcome you to Nevis, and I hope that you can. And let me encourage the people of Nevis to participate in this process. This is our island, and at the end of the day we want to ensure that we are able to develop the island in our own liking, and that we can have that input, that we can say, yes, this is how we want to see our island grow. So I want to appeal to the people of Nevis to participate when there is the various discussion and consultation that takes place in our various community centers and so on.
Also present at the brief ceremony were Yolanda Allain of Open Plan Consultancy, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Physical Planning, Dr. Ernie Stapleton, as well as other key stakeholders in the ministry. The St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board celebrated its 42nd anniversary on February 1st and is hosting a number of activities in celebration of this milestone. Minister of Social Security, the Honourable Vance Amory, outlined a new initiative the board will be implementing.
As we observe this milestone, the 42nd anniversary of Social Security, we advised in Parliament on Thursday the 23rd of an increase to be applied to the aged, invalidity and survivors pensioners, with 5% being the highest and 1% being the lowest, to come into effect from January 2020. For the first time in the history of Social Security, will such an increase be extended to those pensioners who receive the maximum age pension amount.
Minister Amory went into detail about the initiative.
For the first time also was a double payment to non-contributory pensioners made in December 2019. In respect of the increase in benefits, it bears repetition that persons who became pensionable in 2015 or before would receive a 5% increase, while persons becoming pensionable in 2016, 2017, 2018 and 2019 will see increases of 4%, 3%, 2% and 1% respectively. We will publish in short order the audited 2016 and 2017 financial statements and both the 11th and 12th actuarial reports to provide all stakeholders a first-hand look at the operations of the Social Security Board.
On Sunday, February 9th, a church service will be held at the Calvary Baptist Church in Sandy Point, St. Kitts. A media retreat will take place on Thursday, March 12th. Sunday, February 16th, a church service will take place at the Joseph's New Testament Church of God. And on Thursday, February 27th, a panel discussion will take place on Win FM. The Social Security Minister invited the public to support the activities. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I'm Freddie Still-Ibert. Thank you for viewing.